27th of July 2022. Hope everybody out there is having a good day today. Let me start off by saying if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Talk to you a little bit today about the recession. A lot of people are talking about it on the YouTube here, and my question is, we all know we're in a recession, so what's it matter if they claim that the government says we're in a recession or not? You know, it's not going to change very much of what's going on with most of us right now anyways. I mean, most of us are just barely getting by paycheck to paycheck. You know, your money's not going nowhere near as far as it did a year ago, or back it up 2 years ago, it would go even further. That's why it's so important to prep. When you go out and you buy your food and you put it up, you're hedging inflation. That's what you're doing. You're saving money in the long run is what I'm trying to say. You're not wasting money. If you could buy a can of beans yesterday for 50 cents and tomorrow that can of bean cost you $1.50, $2, you're saving money. You know, we preach rotate your stock. Eventually you're going to have to start paying the higher price for stuff. But if you had stuff put up and was prepared for some of this, you would be saving money right now. You know, who cares what the government calls it? I made a video yesterday that they're changing the definition of everything, and they are. You know, nothing means the same as it did several years ago or even last year. Everything's changed. You know, they keep moving the goalpost here, or moving the definition of this or that. You got places that are refusing to hire people now. They're going through a hiring freeze. You've got places laying people off or just straight out firing them now because they can't keep up with the cost of they're having to pay them. And what does that mean? A company, let's say a big company like Walmart, they have a set amount of profit that they want to make every year. Okay, well, if they start paying their employees more, you know, that cuts into their set amount of profit. Well, how do they fix that? They either lay employees off or get rid of employees to keep that profit margin where they want it excuse me, or they raise prices. That's how they're doing it. They're raising prices. And this is all companies, not just Walmart or something like that. They have a set amount of profit that they want to make every year. All right, to keep that profit, they're going to do whatever they have to do to stay in that profit margin. You know, we're not talking about like logging. My family grew up sawmilling and stuff like that. A logger, you know, they're lucky to make a 3% profit margin. That's their profit margin for the year. You know, 3%. Some of you are going to say, wow, that's not much. That's honestly, once you add in the cost of everything, upkeep on your equipment, you know, payroll, insurance, all this stuff, you're operating about 3% margin. Some years you'll have it better, some years you'll have it worse. But it averages out to about a 3% profit margin. And you take these bigger companies like Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, stuff like that, their profit margin is not 3%. It's a lot more. They want more than that. And they act like they're doing so much. Well, we gave our employees raises. We're paying them more, you know. Well, one thing is you don't realize Walmart keeps you at 32 hours, you know, so you're not considered full-time. There's a lot of stuff like that going on right now. All these restaurants that you see hiring everywhere, they're doing the same thing. You know, they're paying more money, but you're only getting 20 hours a week. Okay? And if you're making $20 an hour at 20 hours a week, it sounds like good money, but it's not worth it. It's not coming out right. The math doesn't come out right. And what that boils down to is it doesn't matter if they call it a recession or if they just call it something else. We know what we're in. We see the prices of everything going up. We see how hard it is to keep food on the table. We see how hard it is to pay our bills. It reminds me, there was a song from the group Alabama that said the Depression was on, we were so poor that we couldn't tell. Well, I actually heard my grandfather say that before. You know, he told me, he said it didn't really affect us here. The Depression really didn't affect us here just because we were raised that way. You know, you grew your own, you used what you had, and you fixed what you had. That's something else nowadays. People are so quick, if something tears up, just throw it away and go buy another one. Well, you can actually fix some of this stuff. Most of the stuff nowadays is made to break. I mean, as soon as you bring it home, it's going to break. That's just the way things are made. They're not made the way they used to be. If you have something older that's worth fixing, fix it instead of going by something new. We need to learn to be more self-reliant and self-sufficient on fixing stuff and not having to depend on other people to come in. Like I've told you, you need to learn, you know, simple plumbing, simple wiring, simple stuff, you know, simple mechanics, you know. You need to at least know how to change your oil, change your tires, you know, rotate your tires around. You need to know how to plug a tire with a plug kit if you get a flat or something. You need to know these things. Quit depending on everyone else for it. It's getting to the point of where they've got you where they want you. They want you dependent on the government. They want you to where you're sitting back waiting on them to tell you what to do. The last 2 years was just a dry run, and they seen how many people would go along with what they said, and that's what's happening now. You know, that's why they're changing these definitions, because they realize, hey, look what happened over the last 2 years. They're going to do what we tell them. So if we tell them, you know, this ain't a recession, it's not one. Which we all know we're in a recession. We've been in a recession. Regardless of what they say, we've been in a recession. I've said for years, people always wanted minimum wage to go to $15 an hour. Before any of this pandemic happened, I said, if it goes to $15 an hour, everything else is going to go up. Because why? They're not going to cut into their profit margins. They're not. If they want to make $20 million profit a year, they're not going to cut into that. They're going to do what they have to do to keep that $20 million profit margin. And that's what they're doing, and every company's doing it. You know, your mom and pops, they're having problems with their profit margins due to things going up. You're seeing a lot of the mom and pop stores closed or not have very many people working there. Because why? They've got to keep their profit margin so they can pay their bills. It's that simple. If they don't keep their profit margin, and we're not talking millions of dollars, we're talking, you know, a little extra money in their pocket at the end of the month. They have to do what they have to do to keep their profits. That's why you're seeing like restaurants, small restaurants, prices are getting on up there, but they've got to do it to keep their profits, to keep their doors open. They're not, mom and pop stores, most of them's not sitting back getting rich. They're just trying to keep a little profit in their pocket and keep their doors open. And that's what's happening. Guys, it doesn't matter if they call it a recession or if they call it, you know, a depression. It doesn't matter. We all know what we're in. We all know everybody's struggling. We all know this. So get out there and get prepped up so you're not dependent on getting to that store or dependent on getting to that over here to do stuff. Make sure you're able to take care of yourself and your family at home. You got food, you got water, you got shelter, you got protection. That's the most important things. Like I've said before, do not keep your money in the banks. You know, don't. We had an issue here last week or week before last. You know, the cards quit working. That right there shows you can't keep all your money in the bank. Keep enough in there to pay your bills, you know, and find you someplace to hide the rest, guys. Think back, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, they would bury money out in the yard in a jar. That was their bank because they didn't trust banks. Everybody stay safe out there. Get prepped up. If you're still watching, please hit that subscribe button. Like or dislike this video. Keep your head on a swivel when you're out in public because you're not safe anywhere. Protect yourself and your family at all times. Stay safe and get prepped.